What is up, you guys? It's Chris here. In today's video, we are going to talk about 6 high-paying jobs that you can get without a college degree. So stick with me for the rest of this video, and I will show you the opportunities that they will not give you and make you a truckload of money. Before we get started, please be sure to smash that like button, as well as comment down below letting me know if you were pressured to go to college. If so, how did it work out for you? I'd love to hear your story. So the first job we are going to talk about today is a Cyber Security Analyst. I know that the title in itself may sound a little intimidating, but being a cybersecurity analyst, that type of job is going to be in great demand over the next 5 to 10 years, especially as companies are more and more storing their precious company data on the internet. The average pay for that position is over $82,000. So what does a cybersecurity analyst actually do? Well, they analyze the vulnerabilities and compliance scanner results, then ensure that these same vulnerabilities are remediated and meet hardening results. In English, please? Well, it's kind of like being a bouncer at a club where you try your best to get the weirdos out and only let the people that you trust in. So by doing that, you protect the company data and avoid all of these nasty breaches that you see on the news, like with Target and Sony and Yahoo and the Marriott and eBay and Chase. And that's just the big names. Now, one thing that I did notice with a lot of the job postings for a cybersecurity analyst is that you need a couple of years experience, at least a 2-year associate's degree, and a few IT certifications. And yes, it does cost money to get an associate's degree and a couple of the certifications, but once you kind of add up all of the money that you would spend in order to be qualified to apply for a cybersecurity analyst job, you would have only spent a few $1,000s. Compare that to the over $140,000 that you would spend trying to get a 4-year degree. The next job is property manager. According to Indeed.com, a property manager's pay can really vary greatly depending on the part of the country that you live in. But the average salaries can be anywhere between $40,000 and $50,000 a year. What I like most about being a property manager is the ease of the job, as well as the people you get to work with. Put simply, a property manager manages the rental property that is owned by a landlord. So if a renter complains about a toilet leaking or the hot water heater bursting, they wouldn't call the owner, they call the property manager. And here's the cool part about the job. Typically, the property manager does not need to do the work themselves. As the property manager, they are just that, the manager. So they will coordinate with the plumber or the carpenter or whoever you need to fix your problem, work with the renter, coordinate times that they can get together, and make sure that the problem is handled in a timely fashion, and then just bill the owner. And if you have had any experience in being a landlord, you probably know about this all too well. One of the downsides of being a property manager is that you need to kind of be on call at all times. Reason being, there is never really a way to tell if something is going to break at a rental property. So you need to be available to take the call and then start coordinating the fix. One thing that I have noticed about the position of a property manager is the fact that you need to be an insanely organized person, especially if you are dealing with more than one property at a time. And regardless, anytime you jump into the real estate industry, there is potential to make a ton of cash. And it's basically recession proof, meaning that there is always going to be people who need somewhere to stay. The next job is a web developer. Now, the great part about being a web developer is that it's relatively easy compared to the amount of money that you can make in the profession. The average salary for a web developer is about $76,000 per year and typically does require at least a 2-year associate's degree. And what's great about this job is that the industry is booming. So as people are getting more and more online, there is a need for people to develop websites for them so that they can keep in contact with their potential customers and potential clients. Now, if you were to get hired by a big company to be a web developer, you would enjoy the health benefits as well as the steady income, which is good. But you know me, I am an entrepreneur at heart, so you would really make more money creating your own agency and then making websites for people on a regular basis. This way, you can have more control over your time schedule. Now, I'm not saying that becoming a web developer is easy to do, but it is kind of mind-blowing that actually as you become more and more experienced at creating the websites, that you can start charging pretty decent amounts for those websites, maybe anywhere from between $3,000 and $4,000, and then you can continue to charge month to month to maintain the sites. If you do want to go the entrepreneurship route with becoming a web developer, be sure to strap on your shoes, go out there and hit the pavement. Start looking for businesses that do not have an online presence. You can do this simply by looking at some of the local businesses within your town. Go online, see if they have a website. If they don't, then great, there's your in. If they don't, and it's a crappy website, you can offer to improve it. In fact, if you want to know the exact same way that I use to learn how to build websites, be sure to go check out benjisdad.com. That's benjisdad.com. There I have a free video series that I've put together just for you that will show you step by step exactly how I learned how to build websites and then turn around and sell them. So please go check it out, benjisdad.com. Now, the next job is a funeral director. Now, for me, a funeral director does sound like a pretty depressing job. However, if you have a knack for it, you can really make a killing. Did I just say killing? Oh, I probably shouldn't have said that. Now, a funeral director can make anywhere from $50,000 to $70,000 a year. Now, some skills that are required to be a very good funeral director include some interpersonal skills because you're going to be helping people with the grieving process, some organizational skills, and also being efficient at embalming corpses. In fact, I have a close friend who is a funeral director, and he just deals with death all the time. But he does it so much that it's almost become second nature to him. It doesn't even faze him anymore. And what's really weird to me is that he absolutely loves his job. And no, he's not like an Uncle Fester type. He's actually a very upbeat kind of guy. Maybe because he probably knows that it can be a lot worse. Organization is also definitely a must, as you need to be able to coordinate with families, arrange burials, help with casket selection, coordinate floral delivery, coordinate limo services, police escorts, and much, much more. The absolute last thing that you want to do is accidentally double book a funeral. It's got to be pretty awkward. The next job is to be a radiology technologist. Now, this one actually is kind of close to me because I used to work in the IT department of a radiology company. But radiology techs make about $55,000 a year just to take images of you while you're sick or you're hurt. So if you have ever broken a bone, had a CAT scan, or for you ladies, if you've ever had a mammogram, these were all performed by radiology technicians. Now, they are not doctors or anything, but they do play a large role. The images that they take is what the doctor's going to use to give you their diagnosis. Very similar to some of the jobs that we've talked about previously, having a 2-year associate's degree can really increase your chances at getting a job like a radiology technologist. In terms of certifications, it's always a good idea to make sure that you have your CPR certification, but then it's also wise to look into the job postings and see what other local certifications that you may need in order to work at a medical facility. Another thing to be aware of when it comes to a job such as a radiology technologist is the fact that you're going to be dealing with a lot of sick and hurt people. So bedside manner would actually be a very good thing to have. If you're having a bad day, you really don't want to make the patients who are already sick and scared make them feel any worse. So having an upbeat attitude can go a long way in helping people have to deal with real life situations. Now, by far, a big favorite of mine is the next one, which is starting a YouTube channel. Now, the amount of money that you can make with running a YouTube channel is extremely relative because it is directly dependent upon how hard you decide to work. So basically, you can't post 1 or 2 videos and expect to be a millionaire overnight. In fact, you may have to post 100 or 200 videos before you get to the point of making a decent income. But here is where things really start to get wild, because as you continue to grow your channel, the more work that you put into it, the more that you're going to get out of it. Once your channel starts to hit and you're getting hundreds or thousands or maybe even millions of views, you are going to see your income skyrocket. One of the biggest YouTubers in the world is PewDiePie, and he makes over $9 million in just YouTube ad revenue. And that doesn't include sponsorships or brand deals or affiliate income or even merchandise income. Now, to be successful with your YouTube channel, you need to start off talking to a very small group of people early on, and then as your channel grows, you can expand to talk to more audiences. And that's when you can start getting some really massive numbers in views. And the more views you get, the more money you're going to make, which is always a good thing. So which one of these job opportunities did you like the most? Be sure to let me know down in the comments, as well as smash that like button if you haven't already. A lot of time and effort goes into making these videos, so if you did appreciate it, we would appreciate it if you were to hit that like button as well. Also, please be sure to subscribe and tick that bell notification icon next to it so that you are alerted anytime we drop some new videos on the channel. So I will catch you all later. one of the biggest, almost on call constantly because you're it does sound like a pretty